Today we have a proposal, a bold new proposal by the House Republicans. We will release one of the hostages. So the government shutdown will continue, but we will release the debt ceiling. Now, by the way, if you watch this show, what did I tell you? Shutdown, hey, corporations don't mind that, the rich don't mind that. That can go on forever. The debt ceiling, that's real. Wall Street has spoken. So the Republicans, did we say debt ceiling? Did we say we're holding hostage? We're going to let that hostage go. Now, but as part of that deal, you have to promise that we're going to talk about, entitlement reform, etc. as soon as we release one of those hostages. And Paul Ryan is saying to the president, as long as you agree to the principles I laid out in my Wall Street Journal editorial. Hey, Paul, I don't know if you know this, but you didn't win. You're not the vice president. You lost. In fact, you lost to the guy named Barack Obama. So what do you mean, like, as soon as you listen to my terms? Who the hell are you, man? You're the loser who couldn't beat the president. So don't tell me about your terms, okay? So anyway, they laid this thing out. All right, debt ceiling will lift it, but only for 6 weeks, and only if you agree that we need to cut Social Security, Medicare, and cut even more taxes for the rich. Oh, great. Well, thank you. What a bold proposal. John Boehner, take it away.
But over the course of the last 10 days, we've been trying to have conversations with our Democrat colleagues. They don't want to talk. The president doesn't want to talk. So what we want to do is to offer the president today the ability to move a temporary increase in the debt ceiling, in agreement to go to conference on the budget, for his willingness to sit down and discuss with us a way forward to reopen the government and to start to deal with America's pressing problems. Listen, it's time for leadership. It's time for these negotiations and this conversation to begin. And I would hope that the president will look at this as an opportunity and a good faith effort on our part to move halfway to what he's demanded in order to have these conversations.
No, you didn't move halfway. And we should never be having these conversations in the first place. Do it when you're supposed to. When you got legislation about the budget, that's when you negotiate. That's when you fight like hell. You don't do it later. So, I'm going to shut the whole thing down, unless you go halfway. And by the way, halfway is actually shutting the government down. The other half they claim is the debt ceiling. Well, we could have done an entire financial nuclear meltdown. Aren't we merciful? We came halfway. And by the way, we will treat you with respect when you start calling them your Democratic colleagues. That is a correct usage of the term, not Democrat colleagues. You know why these goofball pieces of questionable waste matter say that? Because they got polling long time ago. They say, and they did focus groups, etc. That said, if you call them Democrats, it ends with rat, so it leaves a negative impression on people. These are the children that we're supposed to be respectful to. I'm going to shut the government down. I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to do a nuclear meltdown on the debt crisis. Democrat, you're around. Why don't they treat us with respect? I can't quite tell. Because you've never earned it. And you also didn't earn the right to dictate all the policies in this country. I don't know if you know this, but you lost the last presidential election. You lost the Senate. And by the way, on the popular vote, you got less votes in the House than the Democrats did. But nonetheless, you strut around as if you own the place, but you don't. Here's Jay Carney's response.
The president is happy that cooler heads at least seem to be prevailing in the House, that there at least seems to be a recognition that default is not an option. Now, the president believes that it would be far better for the Congress, and in this case the House, to raise the debt ceiling for an extended period of time. But it is certainly at least an encouraging sign that, based on today's statement by the Speaker, they're not listening to the debt limit and default deniers who seem to suggest, against all the accumulated wisdom of financial experts, that somehow it would be okay for the United States to enter territory it had never entered before.
Now, look, I know you're not going to hear this anywhere else, and certainly not going to hear it on MSNBC, but Obama is complicit. Look, the extension, their offer, like as if they're magnanimous, is to release one of the hostages for just 6 weeks. And then we'd be right back in the soup. So then the government would continue to be shut down, And over Thanksgiving, we'd have another fight about the debt ceiling. And the president is receptive to it. Senate Democrats are so sick of the president in negotiations that they were trying to get the much stronger Harry Reid to negotiate instead. When you're weaker than Harry Reid, you're in a pathetic state. But the reality is, he is not that weak. We saw him in 2 different elections, beat Hillary Clinton. John McCain was less of a challenge given the state in 2008, but he beat Hillary Clinton. And then he turned around and he put a whooping on Mitt Romney in 2012. The guy's not weak. He just agrees with the Republicans. Why would you give them this out when it looks like they're getting crushed, they're getting hammered? I got stories later about poll numbers in Utah that look miserable for the guys who started this mess in the first place. Why does he let them off the hook? Because he wants the pressure of those 6 weeks. Oh my God, we better hurry up and make a deal. Come on, you want to do the grand bargain? How obvious and transparent is he? This is good cop, bad cop. They're going to come in, and they're going to cut Social Security, they're going to cut Medicare, and they're not going to raise taxes on the rich. In fact, they're going to cut taxes on corporations. President Obama has been dying to do it the whole time he's in office. That's why he agrees to terms that are ridiculous. Oh, should we have another totally fake emergency and panic? Oh, golly gee, John Boehner, you twisted my arm. Okay, I guess we should. Senate Democrats are frustrated. Well, sad day for you. That's your president. He's not on your side. He's not a progressive. And he's going to be so proud when he cuts Social Security and Medicare. Wasn't I so wonderfully bipartisan? And Boehner is leaving, by the way. Boehner and Obama think that they're on their last term, so if they cut this deal, they will be historic figures. No. It's true. They will be historic if they cut Social Security. It will be the most unpopular move by politicians in a long, long time.